challenges of launching a startup and how to overcome them. Hiring the right people for your business is crucial. And today, our speaker Taha will share his recruitment tips on how to make your business thrive. Taha Jiwaji is the founder of Beam, Africa's leading cloud communication and messaging providers with a presence across 18 countries and partnerships with 45 mobile networks. He has been critical to building a customer base of over 750 clients, including brands such as Nestlé, Samsung, Qatar Airways, and UBA Bank. If we speak about launching the business, I know that it was a long time ago, but still,
sure.
I think you remember these times quite well. What kind of challenges did you face? How did you overcome them? And what would be your speech to people who are just starting the business, who really need this advice and they don't know what to do?
Sure. So we started a long time ago, so it's almost over 10 years ago now.
Yeah, quite a while.
Quite a while ago. It really started as a SMS marketing service, where I was trying to solve a problem for my parents' business, who were selling computers and laptops and wanted to reach students. And I wanted to kind of figure out what's the best way for them to get more customers, and SMS seemed to be the right channel for that. That evolved quite a bit over time. The marketing service didn't work quite too well. We faced a lot of challenges with that. Or I would say lessons learned would be the better way to say it. And a lot of growing up in the process. What else? Then from that, it's evolved to become more, business communication focused and, expanding beyond Tanzania, which our home market, to a lot of different countries across the continent. In fact, we're now at about 23, 24 countries with about 50 plus or 60 plus operators that we can reach.
Wow.
So it's grown, evolved a lot over time, and also grown beyond SMS. But my advice to kind of anyone getting into entrepreneurship or businesses, one, not to be afraid, because you have to take the first step. So that's always critical. I think looking back, yes, I obviously would have done a lot of things differently. But those are lessons you learned and kind of grow up with and take with you. I literally started alone and kind of grew the team from there. I think there were definitely a lot of mistakes there. But I think it's been a really interesting journey, and proud to be where we are today. But I think for anyone, definitely jump in. Obviously research and test. Talk to a lot of customers, make sure there's demand, all of those fundamental things. But don't be afraid to take the jump and jump into entrepreneurship.
You mentioned mistakes when we're looking for the right people. So what kind of mistakes did you make, and what was the lesson you learned? So the moment I will never do this mistake again. Now I know this again.
Yeah, there's been a lot of mistakes. So recruiting or hiring people, obviously, there's a lot of stories there. Just with dealing with, let's say, mobile operators and partnerships, and initially I think you go in thinking that, look, you have a great product and everyone should listen to you. But really it comes down to relationships and business case and all of those things, which are kind of fundamental, which you learn over time, that this is how it works when dealing with larger companies and enterprises, where their goals need to be aligned with your goals, and the stars need to align fully for everything to make sense. And then obviously with recruiting, I would say always hire for growth. So, if you're planning to hire one person, plan to hire more than one, because the turnover is pretty high, and you need, what ends up happening is you have to slow down because you have to go back to solving all problems because that person left. So if you overhire, then you try to able to maybe maintain a little bit of speed. And speed is always critical when you're in the tech industry, as well as when starting out. So yes, it's easier said than done, because you're working on limited resources and you want to only hire as much as you need to. But for some things you just need to overhire.
Do you have any tricks during the interview? So maybe a set of questions which you ask to actually determine whether there is the right person in front of you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've researched a lot online and have kind of tried to come up with different ways of doing it. To tell you the truth, no one formula works, right?
That's reality.
But what we've kind of come down to is we've come up with our own tests. So for each role, we have like a test that we give to assess people, whether it's a developer or it's a sales role. So that helps us kind of do a quantitative assessment of a person, as opposed to a qualitative. And it helps us, for the most times, at least give us a very good first line assessment of each person, regardless of their experience, their education. If you're able to pass this test, which is very aligned to what they would do day to day, then we can move on to interviewing you and assessing you fully. So that's worked for us, and it's helped us reduce our mistakes.
Is it multiple choice?
No, it's actually like a written assessment. They have to kind of, if it's a salesperson, they'll have to do a mini PowerPoint and write a couple of paragraphs and etc.
So you have assessment criteria for each answer. You give if you say it's a quantitative analysis, or it's
at least you're able to give a score on what they've done. It's still a little bit of qualitative, but at the end of the day, there is a little bit more substance to base it on, as opposed to one conversation or two conversations.
How do you support your people for growth?
We have a couple of training. We grouped a couple of things that we do. One is we've set up a kind of a performance appraisal process. So that helps, staff at least give us an idea of what their goals are or where they would like to go. And that helps us gives us an idea of kind of maybe what staff are thinking or what they want from their organization. And we try then incorporate some of these things either at an individual level or at a team level. And then overall as a company, we've done some simple things like every Friday afternoon, we have a training session of some kind. And it could be something that it's generic, like productivity or how to be more effective at your work, or it could be very technical, like how does this product work. And we've also experimented with people coming in and doing something they enjoy, right? So something they're passionate about, and they come tell everyone else about it. So we've had some interesting topics at times. One of our staff members is interested in poetry and did a presentation on poetry. And then one One session was on learning Chinese or Mandarin. So
Ah,
again, yeah, very, very varied topics, but people were passionate about it and they picked that topic, and so you get to learn something outside of work completely, something you would not be
widen
learning or
horizon.
thinking about, on your horizon. Yeah. So these are some of the different things we've kind of done.
Did you find this video useful? Please share in the comments and write what kind of business topics you would like us to cover next time.